Every system I've worked with has given me some pet peeves, little things that people do or the system does that just annoy me. So here, I'm going to share some of mine in Confluence and show you how you can avoid them. The first pet peeve I want to share is having a page that just links to another page. In this example, I can see a page called Policy Information, and it only has a link on it that goes to another page with other information on it. This to me is a huge waste of space and time. Someone going into Confluence to find information should get the information they need where they think it will be. They shouldn't click on a page called Policy Information and then be sent somewhere else to get the information they need. So, there's a couple ways we can solve this. The first is to just delete this page entirely. It doesn't do anything useful other than tell someone go somewhere else. So, I could delete this page, Policy Information, and then go to the page it's linking to make sure it is labeled and named properly so someone can easily find it. Now, the danger here is if I delete this page, anyone who has a link saved to it or a bookmark won't be able to get to it from that link or bookmark anymore. However, that can sometimes be a good thing because it will force them to go into Confluence to look up the new page. Another thing I could do is remove all the content from this page or archive it, and then just replace it with a folder. So instead of linking off to some other page, create a folder in here called Policy Information, and have the pages that I had linked to it under it as a child. This would let me show policy information in my page tree without cluttering it up with a page that essentially does nothing. The next pet peeve I want to share is not responding to comments. Here I have a page called Project JQuil, and this is the proper way to pronounce JQL, and it has a comment sitting on it. Now if I open this comment, I can see that it was posted here 8 months ago. So this person has had a challenge or a question or needed help for 8 solid months and nobody helped them. This can easily be overcome just by monitoring our space, being on the lookout for comments, but also making sure we have notifications enabled and we aren't filtering them out in our email. When you're mentioned in a comment, you should get an email notification. So this is a quick, easy way to find it. Now, if I can't tell if there's comments on pages, I can just come up to the top and click the comments button or show inline comments. I can also hit the close bracket button on my keyboard, and this will pop them all out so I can quickly see where they are. The fix here is just to be vigilant. Look for those notifications. Go into your pages and see who's commenting. But also, it's a process. It's something outside of the system. Regularly make time to review your content. This will help catch things like comments that have been sitting around, but also give you a chance to update and refresh things as you go. The next big pet peeve I want to share is putting pages outside of the home page of your space. Now, typically a space will have a home page. In this case, Robert Heen Home. This is the top level of the space, and if someone comes up to Spaces and clicks on the name of the space, this is where they go. This makes a lot of sense. It should be, welcome to the space, here's what's in here. However, it is possible to put pages outside of this and to have part of a page tree that exists not under the home page. I can find this by going to Space Settings and looking for Reorder. Now I can do this as a space administrator, but if I didn't have this ability, it would be very hard to find them. And here I can see there are 2 pieces of content, a page and a database that are outside of my page structure. Now, there might be a legitimate need to do this. You want this information in there, you want it to be searchable or linkable, but you don't want it to clutter up your page tree. So if you have a very focused page tree you want to show, but other information you want to kind of hide, this could be a way to do it. Most of the time, however, this content will effectively get lost. Someone might trip over it in a search, but they're never going to be able to browse for it. So the quick fix is to go to a space administrator, go into Reorder, and then just move these pages under the appropriate spot in your page structure. This way, folks will be able to easily find it. Now I can see it shows up under FAQ. So as soon as I go back to the space, it's going to be updated and show that information nested exactly where I put it. Now, the last pet peeve or annoyance I'm going to share are labels. Labels are great. They allow us to tag information with metadata that tells us something about it. It improves search, it improves findability, and it ties into some great macros. However, I see a lot of misspellings in labels. For example, I might have a label called engineering, and this might relate to my engineering team. I also might have a label called eng, which also relates to my engineering team. I also might have a label called engineering team, which relates to my engineering team. And these are all spelled correctly. Imagine if someone started misspelling them and accidentally adding new labels. Now, we can't stop people from adding labels. If they can edit the page, they can add labels. So we have to be vigilant. We have to be on the lookout for labels. One way to do this is to have a page and to use the macro labels list. Restrict it to the space you are interested in monitoring, and this will show you all the labels that exist. You'll be able to quickly catch or identify duplicate or misspelled labels because they'll show up right here. Then you can go to the pages that use them and remove them or correct them. I tend to have a page like this locked down in my own personal space so no one else really trips over it. It's not very useful unless you're monitoring labels, but it allows me to keep an eye on what's going on in the space. So those are just some of the pet peeves or minor annoyances I find when I'm using Confluence. They are, again, minor things, but over time they can add up and frustrate folks. So make sure you're on the lookout for these and other minor annoyances. I really appreciate you listening to me talk about some of these and how to overcome them. If you liked it, please like the video, please subscribe, and drop a comment with your annoyances, what bugs you about Confluence, and I'll respond with some ideas on how to fix it. Thanks again for sticking around, and I look forward to seeing you here again soon.